In this tutorial, we're preparing a drawing for output or plotting. Here's the result of the completion of the grading exercise. You can see the variety of surfaces. We need to make clear choices about which ones we want to display. I'm going to turn the volume surface off so that we don't see it. The one I'm going to need is the composite, and we're going to keep it. We can turn, actually we can turn that one off too, as it appears. Existing surface is necessary. 1 to 5 background. Apply. Okay, and the sloping plane. Okay, double check. Sloping plane, right mouse click, edit surface properties. 1 to 5, make sure it says design. Now let's check the contour display. Turn off the border. Major and minor contours, we'll leave them as I will change them to dashed as their line type. -2. And as you know, I have a preference for major contour as green and the minor contour as red. Now this is where you need to pay close attention to the layer color. I've always recommended using the primaries, green or red, but we have an option here to actually change the line type to screening so it fades away and is a very clear distinction between existing contours and proposed. So I took 110 there for the green and some derivative red. There we are, 21. Alright, so you need to keep clear records of 110 and 21. You can see the changes we made here by expanding the surface styles box. Hit apply. Okay. Now we have to do something similar for the proposed. But first we need to turn off the grading, the solid fills, and the surfaces for the grading features. I'm just checking the numbers and the designations for the contour major and contour minor. Save the file. I'm just going to ensure that our surface is in the back in terms of the display order so that we can see our proposed contours quite clearly. I'm going to go back to the layer properties and make a few adjustments. I'm going to turn on the path. I'll probably change its layer color to magenta. 0.35 is usually the line thickness for magenta. That'll be really quite nice. Now we need to change the line type scale. Even though we've changed it to dash, we can hardly see them. So the command is LT scale. You can save it at 20 and then save the drawing, and you can see that the appearance of the drawing is much more improved, and you can clearly distinguish between the existing and proposed contours. Now I'm going to do something indulgent. I'm going to turn on the feature line, and I'm going to load the dot line type. .2. Oh, wasn't successful. Let's try it again. Continuous. .2. OK. All right, and there it appears. correctly in the layer control. If you zoom in really closely, you can start to see a little bit of the dots that make up the border of the simple sloping plane. It's not required, it's kind of indulgent on my part. I'd like to read those crisp edges like they are break lines. Alright, so now we need to begin to label. You need to change your workspace to the drafting and annotation. Go to the text and launch the text style dialog box, and the standard comes with as a default, but I really don't particularly care for the simplex font, so I'll either go to Arial or Arial Narrow. Hit apply. I wouldn't change any other features, it's a dynamic text. It'll change as your scale changes. Alright, we can go back to the Civil 3D workspace. Alright, and now we have to look at some of the ways in which we can begin to generate labels. So if you go to the settings browser, there is no labels for contours are located under surfaces, and you see that there's an existing set of styles. I think it's perfectly adequate that we use these existing styles before the existing major and proposed major contours. We're going back to the prospector. We're going to right mouse click on the surface we're interested. We're going to add labels. Change it we're going to keep it to surface. Label type will be contour, single. And then we'll set the type major proposed. And we won't label the minor contours. It's too much information for this scale drawing. Change it to no display or none. Go add. They ask you to select the surface, and then you click where you like your contour, and it's usually the center of the contour. Now, I don't particularly care for this one because it takes off that corner, so I'm going to undo it and then repeat, add. And 6170, 6175. Now I want to label the major contours for existing. It's a bit more challenging, you have to zoom out. Again, labeling contours is stylistic. You want to keep them as far to the perimeter as possible and away from any of the new or meaningful information. So set your style, pick your contours. Keep it away from the important activity and align them as closely as possible. Now, this one's kind of flawed because you see it'll overlap the edge of the path, but it's an existing condition, so that might be all right. Zoom and pan, and you can continue with labeling the other contours. Now you notice this one flips. Okay, so I escaped, Control Z, and now I'm going to repeat labeling the major contours again. I choose to go outboard of the activity or the important part of the drawing. I need to ensure that every contour is labeled, so we'll double check. I see in the upper right hand portion we might need to add a few more. Okay, so the contours have been added. File save.